It's like Bernie Sanders, Mr. Bernie, along with a handful of other Democratic senators, are calling for $1,200 stimulus checks to be included in the next stimulus bill. But I'd first like to say, how is it a stimulus bill without stimulus checks, without giving financial aid and support to the people, to the working class? I would say it's not. And Bernie correctly had been arguing that everybody should have been getting at least $2,000 a month for a while. So why is he? I mean, obviously $1,200 is better than nothing, but he had been arguing for everybody getting $2,000 a month for the duration of this economic crisis that we're in due to the coronavirus pandemic. So what happened there? Why is he not calling for more would be my first thing. Bernie says coronavirus relief plan in the works, totally inadequate. It's an understatement for sure. Here we go. The other senators simply stated, quoting, simply stated, given the horrific extent of the current crisis and the desperation that working families all over this country are experiencing, this proposal does not go anywhere near enough. So it was a coordinated effort between Sanders, Snake, Elizabeth Warren, Markey, Gillibrand, Wyden, and Merkley, both Oregon senators. Noting that the bipartisan plan only calls for $348 billion in new funding, a far cry from the $2.2 trillion CARES Act approved in March, which again was a huge, massive, giveaway and transfer of wealth to the very top, further exacerbating the huge issues of inequality that we already have here in the U.S. Billionaires becoming richer while everybody else is suffering. That's kind of the U.S. in a nutshell. So, yeah, they're saying, everybody needs to get $1,200, but the first time that went through is means tested. So would this be means tested, or would everybody actually get that along with $500 for each kid? Unlike the CARES Act, this proposal only provides a $300 supplement for unemployed workers rather than $600 a week, lawmakers note. Further, unlike the $1,200 direct payments for a working class individual and $500 for each child, it provides absolutely no direct payment. But again, that's not true. Not everybody had access to that, especially those in the working class. But again, Pelosi, the package that she said didn't go nearly enough because it was a political ploy and she didn't want to see Trump, get some type of victory and use that to help his re-election chances. That package included retroactive, I believe, $400 a week extra unemployment along with stimulus plans. But she didn't go along with that because it could have helped Trump win re-election. She would rather let people starve, suffer, and die than give Trump a political win that would have greatly helped the working class. These are the type of people in power in the United States, and the system rewards that type of, disgusting, self-serving, psychopathic behavior in a sense, fuck everybody else, I'm just getting mine. And then, this has that, God, McConnell is just such a fucking ghoul, isn't he? He's wanting, along with other Senate Republicans, a 5-year liability shield for corporations so they can just continue to kill people, put them in unsafe working conditions, and have complete, full immunity from doing that. Really shows where their fucking priorities are, but that's to be expected, right? That's fucking Republicans. Far-right party, completely beholden to their corporate overlords. Then, if this doesn't get passed, dozens of key federal programs, including unemployment insurance, paid sick and family leave, and an eviction moratorium will expire, leaving millions of Americans in the lurch. I I frankly don't have a whole lot of hope that anything gets done with McConnell being Senate Majority currently, and we'll see what happens in those runoff elections in Florida. Was it John Osof, complete neoliberal centrist hack, doesn't support the Green New Deal, doesn't support defunding the police, doesn't support Medicare for all. Warnock, not as familiar with him, but I believe he is quite the centrist himself. I mean, they would probably obviously sign on to this, but again, it's still not nearly enough what Bernie and these other senators are calling for. And why is Bernie not shouting at the rooftops right now? Like, let's fucking, the government's not helping you right now. Organize in your workplace, organize with your friends, with your family members. We need a general strike to be able to force, the political machine to actually address the needs of the working people right now. And the only way to do that is to strike at capitalism, at the centers of power, at money. That's all they care about. And we have power of labor to do that. Imagine if Bernie Sanders was out there right now calling for a fucking general strike. Like, for God's sakes, how amazing would that be, as opposed to this? Like, okay, yeah, you're advocating for that, but frankly, it's probably not going to do much. I mean, it's good that he's out there saying it, I guess, but I just don't know how much good it's going to do. McConnell doesn't have any incentive to do shit right now unless Democrats go along with that corporate liability thing. He could give two shits. Elections passed, Trump's out of office, he wants to make things as bad for the Biden administration coming in as he can. And, the only way to force capitalists to act is to strike at the heart of capitalism. And, obviously Bernie Sanders isn't capable of having that type of analysis or critique or getting out there and telling people to go on a general strike. I mean, for fuck's sake, he endorsed Joe Biden without getting any type of concession. As soon as Bernie dropped out, next day, a couple days after, endorsed Joe Biden, complete antithesis policy-wise of what Bernie Sanders was actually running on. I mean, Bernie Sanders, unfortunately, he's part of the problem too, and I think, we need to also point that out. Peace. Much love.